Well, it's Tuesday, March 25th, 2012, and it's really day two of our voluntary social isolation here in Massachusetts because of the coronavirus. And so many people who are going through the same thing. And I mean, just today, Modi from India, he put the entire country of more than 1 billion people in isolation. So, we're all socially isolating ourselves in the entire world. Now, as I was watching Leo Sagami, one of the rabbis on the pew was talking about this Sabbath day being the first time in the history of the world where the entire world may participate in the Sabbath, which is the taking off of all labor and all leisure activities or social interactions. And so these are kind of like miraculous times, but they're really going to be great for us because for myself and getting ready for the opening of our season, which we hope happens at the Mount, celebrating Edith Wharton and her wonderful creativity. And while I'm sitting here and filming this, just to let you know, right across the water, Laurel Lake, and the pine grove that you see, I think you can see it there. The pine grove that lines the shoreline, that is Edith Wharton property, and it's open to the public. You can walk down there, do some birding. This is a really beautiful place in Lenox, and where natural beauty abounds. And just getting ready for the opening of the Mount, I'm trying to read more Edith, connections to Edith, and I found a great article connecting the great writer William Dean Howells and Edith Wharton. And he actually submitted a wonderful poem to one of Edith's most important works, which is the Book of the Homeless, that she edited in 1916 for the relief of the people who had suffered from the assault of the Germans during World War I. And William Dean Howells submits, and it is included in the collection, a wonderful poem called The Children, and I will be reading it. But I want to set it up with a little bit of a connection, because before you can really understand the poem, as I had a little difficulty with it, you have to understand one word, and the word is Schrecklichkeit. Schrecklichkeit. It's a German word, and it means terror. Now, harken back to the wonderful movie by Francis Ford Coppola, which was Apocalypse Now. And Marlon Brando says the horror, and he really admires almost the terrible things that people are able to do to make the people submit to the authorities. So I think it's so important right now that Schrecklichkeit is the assumed military policy of the German army towards civilians in World War II, specifically to Belgium, their invasion of Belgium, and the destruction of the city of Louvain, which is very terrible. And so the relief and the suffering of the Belgians, terrible. Now, from William Dean Howells, his poem that was submitted to Edith Wharton's great edited work called The Book of the Homeless. Little children, suffer little children to come unto me, Christ said, and answering with infernal glee, take them, the arch-fiend scoffed, and from the tottering walls of their wrecked homes, and from the castle stalls, and the dog kennels, and the cold of the waste fields, and from the hapless hold of their dead mothers' arms, famished and bare, and maimed by shot and shell. The master spirit of hell caught them up, and through the shuddering air of the hope-forsaken world, the little ones he hurled, mocking that pity in his pitiless might, the Antichrist of Schrecklichkeit. W.D. Howells.